Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 9th of March 2024. Today is the day when the Great White Hurricane caused massive destruction in England. 90 people got killed during two suicide bombings in March. National One Day Women's Strike was held in Mexico to protest high rates of femicide. From the history point of view, on the 9th March in Indian history is observed as the death anniversary of the following personalities, including the Savar Chand Kalidas Meghani. 28th of August 1896 up to 9 March 1947, an Indian poet, writer, social reformer, and freedom fighter. His well-known name in the field of Gujarati literature. Starting the newspaper analyst with the newspaper The Hindu states that an abducted army officer rescued in Manipur's Thobal. This is the fourth instance of armored personnel or their relatives being individually targeted since the conflict began last year. Representational image of security personnel in Manipur. A search operation is underway to rescue an army official who was abducted from his home in Thobal. Amid the ongoing ethnic conflict in Manipur, a serving junior commissioner officer of the Indian Army who was on Friday morning abducted from his home in Thobal district was rescued the same evening after an hours-long search operation launched by security forces in the state, The Hindu has learned. The Hindu newspaper also states that Centre tweaks Prime Minister's rooftop solar-free electricity scheme from an initial plan to fully subsidize the installation of 1 to 3 kilowatt solar systems in 1 crore households. The scheme will now only contribute up to 60% of the costs. A view of the solar power plant center has tweaked the new 75,000 crore of Prime Minister Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, Prime Minister Rooftop Solar Free Electricity Scheme. The center has tweaked the new rupees 75,000 crore Prime Minister Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, Prime Minister's Roof Solar Free Electricity Scheme from an initial plan to fully subsidize the installation of 1 to 3 kilowatt solar systems in 1 crore households via tie-ups with the renewable energy service companies. The scheme will now only contribute up to 60% of the costs, The Hindu has learned. The Hindu newspaper also states that France inscribes the right to abortion in its constitution as the world marks International Women's Day. France inscribed the guaranteed right to abortion in its constitution on March 8, a powerful message of support for women's rights on International Women's Day. The measure was overwhelmingly approved by a French lawmaker on March 4, and a Friday's ceremony means it can now enter into the force. French President Emmanuel Macron and Justice Minister Eric Dupond-Moretti attend the ceremony to seal the right to abortion in the French Constitution on International Women's Day at the Place Vendôme in Paris on March 8, 2024. Whereas Hindustan Times newspaper states that India and EFTA is set to ink a key trade pact. The India EFTA ministerial meeting. India and the European Free Trade Association EFTA group of nations Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway and Switzerland are set to sign a free trade agreement on Sunday, which will be the third major trade deal of the Narendra Modi government since early 2022, when New Delhi signed separate bilateral agreements with the United Arab Emirates and Australia. India's key import from the four countries are coal of $20.7 billion in 2021-22, silver, coal, pharmaceuticals and vegetable oil, dairy, machinery, medical items, crude and scientific equipment. It exports chemicals, iron and steel, gold, precious stone, yarns, sports goods, glassware and bulk drugs to these nations. Sometimes also states that Centre committed to continue MSP regime. Piyush Goyal says. New Delhi Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal during an interview at an PGI office New Delhi on Friday, March 8, 2024. New Delhi, the government is committed to continue the minimum support price regime, Union Minister Piyush Goyal said on Friday, adding that it is considering procuring the entire quantity of maize and pulses from the farmers at MSP to encourage diversification of crops from the unsustainable water guzzling crops like rice. The Times also states that India will have stable government for next 15 years, says External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. India will have a stable government for 15 years or even longer, and such a political stability helps an administration to make a bold decision, as External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said on Japan on Friday. The Times also states that India warns citizens aim at Russia-Ukraine war trafficking crackdown. Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24, 2022. Close on the heels of the death of the two Indians working with the Russian military and a countrywide crackdown on agents recruiting young men for such jobs, the External Affairs Minister has stepped up efforts to repay citizens whose lives are at risk while serving on the front lines of the Ukraine conflict. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, from banking and finance, Reserve Bank of India norms may force Tata Sons to consider mega rupees 55,000 crore IPO. The Reserve Bank of India published the list of 16 upper layer NBFCs on September 30, 2022. Tata Technologies delivered around 140% returns flat in a single day, listing of at rupees 1200 against the issue of price of rupees 500. From the business point of view, India poised to sign a trade agreement with the four nations EFTA bloc on Sunday, while the Oman deal is in advanced stages with the legal security underway. The much anticipated India-United Kingdom free trade agreement is also being taken up the highest level, with the Prime Minister Office PMO reviewing the deal late last month. The Indian Express has reported last week that India and the EFTA are nearing a conclusion of the deal, which would see the European bloc committing an investment of $100 billion in India over the 15 years in sectors including the pharma, food processing, engineering, and chemicals. Government directs four sectors to provide detailed info on warranty service centers. The direction has been issued to ensure that the consumers who are seeking repair of products are not deceived in the absence of relevant information, an official release said. Drinking water purifier makers have been directed to furnish the average lifespan of their candles and other consumables based on specific geographies and water alkalinity, the statement said. Government exempts certain exporting units from the quality control with the conditions mandatory. QCOs help curb the import of the substandard products, prevent unfair trade practices, and ensure the safety and well-being of consumers as well as the environment. The government on Friday exempted advanced authorizations holders and export-oriented units (EOUs) from mandatory quality control orders for imported goods that are used as inputs for exports. It is said that the exemption will be with the pre-import conditions, and those input will be utilized in the manufacturing of the export products. Going towards the world news, including Open Artificial Intelligence has full confidence in CEO Sam Altman after investigation reinstates him to board. Donald Trump appeals writer E. Jean Carroll's $83.3 million defamation verdict. Israeli settlements in the Palestinian areas amount to war crimes, says United Nations Rights Office. Suspected attack by Yemen's Houthi rebels set off explosions ahead of ship in Gulf of Aden, none hurt. Former United States Rep. George Santos expelled from Congress says he is running again. Trump slams Biden, calls him angry, mentally disturbed. Going towards the science and technology from the artificial intelligence point of view, we're bridging the gap. Women are in artificial intelligence and the challenges to inclusion. According to the report published by the World Economic Forum in 2022, in the field of artificial intelligence, only 22% of the professionals are women, and only 18% of the authors at leading artificial intelligence conferences are women. Despite the challenges, women are optimistic and about the opportunities and future of them in the field of artificial intelligence. From the tech news, social media usage correlated with the desire of cosmetic procedures in new study. Study suggests social media habits may influence desire for cosmetic procedures. New research published this month has found correlations between time spent on the social media, the use of photo editing applications, and a person's desire to go through a cosmetic procedures. In social media making you want cosmetic work, and new study explores the connection. Baby cursors, little red dots could be massive breakthrough for a Webb telescope. The hunt for these elusive baby cursors has been just begun, and JWST might be the perfect tool to find more. Some supermassive black holes are growing too fast, and the Webb telescope may have been found the answer to why. At last, there is a famous quotation said by C.V. Raman, whose full name was Sachandra Shekhar Venkata Raman, birth anniversary 7 November 1888 up to 21st of November 1970. Was an Indian physicist known for his the work in the field of light scattering using a spectrograph that he developed, and he and his student K.S. Krishnan discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, the reflected light changes its wavelength and frequency. This phenomenon, a hitherto to unknown type of scattering of light, which they called modified scattering, was subsequently termed as the Raman effect or Raman scattering. Raman received the 1930 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery and was the first Asian to receive a Nobel Prize in any branch of science. Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman says a famous quotation. He says that I would like to tell the young men and women before me not to lose hope and courage. Success can only come to you by courage, devotion, to task the lying in front of you. Okay, thank you.